Hey everyone, welcome back to Think Turkey, and in today's video we'll be analyzing a short-term rental Airbnb property which is located right in Istanbul, and it's actually located right next to Mall of Istanbul. You know, you just come downstairs and you're walking right into Mall of Istanbul. It's a great property because the price is a good price point, and it's a one-bedroom property. It's about $184,000 right now, about 3.4 million Turkish liras, and you know, it makes it a nice property to analyze. It's not a very hard property to get, but at the same time, you know, you can get some decent bookings in this region, making it, because it's right, you know, 30 minutes from the airport. You have access to the central Istanbul, like right to downtown Istanbul if you need to get there, or if you want to get to the outskirts and so on, you can easily access those areas. Let's take a look now at the Airbnb pricing for this region. So roughly, I've actually stayed at, you know, in this building right next to Mall of Istanbul. So, and I've used Airbnb and to see what the experience would be like. So roughly, you're looking at about $86 per night for a property like this, and you know, for a one-bedroom apartment in this building. Now there might be also a small cleaning fee which they may charge or may not charge. So you know, that's again up to the host and different listings that are available. Now let me show you the calculator which I found from this channel called the Real Estate Robinsons. And you know, the Robinsons use this calculator to analyze properties in the US to see whether or not they're going to be feasible to use as an Airbnb rental or not. I found this, there's a lot of calculators out there, but I found this particular one to be quite good, and it's simple, easy to use, easy to understand, and I'll leave the link to the video below, and you can click on that and you can get access to the calculator from that video itself, from the description of that video. And shout out to the Real Estate Robinsons for that video. I think it's a great video, and the calculator is great. I've done some modifications to it so it suits, you know, the Turkish market, and I'll show you that in a minute. So here, looking at the first part, which is of the calculator, which is the purchase section here, and I'll take you through that first. So looking at the purchase section, you've got mainly, you need to focus on is the yellow highlighted areas, right? So ignore the blue ones because those get calculated automatically and you don't need to enter anything for that. So looking at the asking price, again, you don't really have to worry about that because that's just the asking price. It's not factored into any calculations. The offer price this is the final price. Let's say you paid 180,000. That's the price that you ended up, you know, finalizing on. You just paid it on a cash basis, so I'm just going to put 100% for that. And the closing costs, you know, let's say taxes 4%, commissions anywhere between 2 to 4%. And any other fees that you had to pay, like the appraisal cost fee and so on, and all that, like let's say, you know, it comes out to about 8%. Setup cost would be for the furnitures, you know, any appliances. There are, in this particular apartment, there are some appliances that are included, but let's say, you know, I think there's no fridge, so you might need to buy a fridge. You're gonna have to get a couch, you know, small dining table, and a bed, obviously, mattress, and maybe a small wardrobe and so on. So I'm gonna say roughly $5,000. This would again depend on how, you know, you do your shopping and so on, and how you design the interior design of the place, which brings you to a total of $200,000. So that is the purchase area, right? Next, we go into expenses. Let's take a look at how much we'll be paying per month, every month, or even some of the expenses are going to be annually, like the first one here, which is the property tax. So I'm going to ignore the mortgage part, right? So all the first part, you just put like zero, interest 0%, and then the blue columns, again, the blue cells, you just leave them as is. Let's do the property tax, which is 0.2%. So I'm just gonna confirm that here and show you that 0.2% is the property tax which you're paying in a metropolitan area. If you're located in a rural area, you pay 0.1%. So the property taxes are quite low here in Turkey, which is great. So annually, you're paying $360, right? Insurance, nothing really here for that. Nobody really gets that. I mean, some people might get it, but that's totally up to you. In my case, I've left it zero. Now this is the part where this is the interesting part here. It's the monthly HOA, including gas. So here you're looking, the HOA fees is known as aidat in Turkey. In the US, they're called HOA, Homeowners Association fees. This is, fees for basically maintaining the common areas of the building. So like the swimming pool, sauna, jacuzzi, corridors, the lobby area, just the entrance and so on, maybe the garbage disposal system. So all of that is covered in that aidat fee, or in Canada that's known as condo maintenance fees. So it also includes the gas in many cases. So in this case of a building which is newer and well maintained, most likely the gas, the heating costs will be included with that as a central heating system, which it is in this case. So you're looking at about $45 a month for that. Water and electricity will be paid separately, so roughly $35 to $45. I'm just going to say $35 in this case, $35 for that. Here we've got cleaning fee. Again, you can include that, but for me, since I'm including a high maintenance fee, which includes the cleaning fee within that, the company who handles that will do the cleaning and will do the check-in process and so on, and I'll show you how that works. Cable internet, about $16, which get you a very good high speed and basic cable, would be included in that. Now you could add Netflix and additional packages for the cable TV, but I think most people, as long as you have the internet, you could just hook up your laptop or your phone and so on and just stream from there, and that should be okay. Repairs and maintenance. So this is an interesting area, and I think everyone should have a repairs fund when you're operating an Airbnb. So for a rainy day, things do break, even if it's a new building. The appliances, leaks may happen and so on. So you do want to keep, and again, tenants will be utilizing the place. So, the furniture, you might need to replace every now and then a few things. So you want to keep a small percentage, anywhere between 3 to 5 set aside for that. So I'm going to take into account 3%, which I think is pretty decent in this case, about $60 a month. Which I think would be a decent amount to hold as a repair fund. Management fee is 30%. This is the biggest chunk, and I'll tell you, because it includes a lot of things. It includes the check-in process, right? So the giving of the key, taking the key, if there's any complaints, even the communications between the guests. So the company that will handle that will cover all of that. Cleaning the apartment before and after the person, and then replacing all the toiletries, the shampoo, body wash, and so on, soap, taking care of that. Any complaints that happens, they handle that. They even arrange the repairs if there's any repairs that need to be done. Of course, the cost will be paid by the landlord. So that is the 30% you're paying. This is, again, depends on your strategy. If you're living nearby, if you want to actually take part in that, and you can not pay that 30% and do everything yourself, or you can pay a smaller fee to another company which may not cover everything but does part of it, or doesn't do it that professionally. Maybe you do the customer service and so on, or so it could be anywhere between 15 to 30%. But the highest I've seen is 30, so I'm just going to put 30 in this case. Now, going further down, it gives you a very nice kind of calculation for your total expenses. So total expenses are coming out to $9,992.70, so about $10,000, and about $830 monthly is the expenses that you're doing. And you're like, wow, that's a lot of expenses. I mean, what am I making? Right? That's a good question. How much money are we making? Let's skip to that. Let's jump to that part. So the income part is where you're going to see how much money you're making. And how do you calculate income, or how do you estimate income that you'll make from the property? So looking at the average nightly rate is the first place we'll start, which is $86. $86 is, how did I get to this amount, is basically looking at the Airbnb listings in that area, seeing what people are charging roughly, are they getting bookings or not, looking at multiple sources for that, and coming, to and estimating that as $86. This again, you have to be careful, and you have to run different models. You have to try it out with a lower number, try it out with a bit more conservative number, and then a middle number, and then an ideal number. So you might want to run like 3-4 different scenarios in this case. The same goes for average occupancy. Occupancy is the number of days or the percentage of time that your apartment is booked, your Airbnb is booked. So in like 75% is an ideal decent number. If you do a decent job, if you buy a property in the right area, which has a good amount of traffic, a decent amount of traffic, I wouldn't say it's the best, but I would say this is if you do a decent job, right? If you do even a better job, you might even be able to bump it up to 85%, right? So it all depends on the person who's managing that and who's looking into that and making those strategic decisions and managing it in a way that makes sure the people, that the guests are happy, the location is good, the apartment, the listing is done nicely, the photographs, the furnishings and so on are all done properly. So all of that is taken into account for this number to be high. Now we go on to the cleaning fee. Again, as an added bonus. You can play around with this and see how it works. You can see what competitors are doing. And I've just put down as $15 in a month is a very low amount, but I've just put a low number there. But again, you can play around with that and bump that up as well. So this gives me a gross income of $23,000 per year, $1,900 per month, right? So this is without minusing out the expenses, right? Now, when you minus out the expenses, this is what you get, the net operating income. So remember when we did the total expenses, which was about $10,000? Now we minus $10,000 from $23,000, which is the total income. And this is the number we get, which is $13,729.80. So in terms of ROI, you're looking at about 7%, which is pretty decent because in long-term rentals, you're really looking at around 3%. If you're really lucky, maybe 4, 3.5, and so on. And especially in my previous video, I talked about this with the currency kind of situation with long-term rentals. You will have a problem, because you're just locking in, with the Turkish lira rent. So over here with short term, you're not tied into any of that. You're just getting a dynamic pricing with that, and you can, always change the pricing based on seasons, based on how the demand is like, so there's a lot of factors that can play into that, and you can really adjust your pricing and try to maximize value from that. So basically, in a nutshell, this is a short-term rental property analysis calculation, and this is how you can analyze properties for short-term rental, for Airbnb. If you have any questions and if you found this video to be useful, don't forget to click a like. Don't forget to leave your feedback, please, in the comments below. Just wanted to quickly show you also what is going on in the Turkish market here when it comes to real estate, when it comes to the tourism industry. Here's a report by Güder, which is a institution, which is a association for real estate, investment firms, and they issue reports quarterly on the real estate situation, on the economical situation in Turkey. And I just want to show you the numbers here for Turkey tourism and hotel performance. So you're looking at 2022 second quarter, so just half the year, and we're seeing about 11.5 million. So we're not even like halfway there, and we've already received that much. So in the past, Turkey has done, before the pandemic, great, even better numbers, 45 million, 40 million. So in the future, whereas as we become more global, as tourism starts to open up more, we can see that this number will again start to recover, and we can start seeing that performance go higher as we go on forward. So again, that is it for this time today. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to click subscribe and like the video. Leave your comments and questions below, and see you in the next video. Take care.